Don't waste your time on chips. Give me a freaking break. Get a Wild Hare. Don't be a turkey. Buy Wild Hare Jerky. Oh, my God.
Wow.
Drop the glasses on that. What the hell? Where did that come from?
John Bird, you look well today.
I don't feel well.
You look healthy, though.
Like shit. I'm going to say it right now. All of a sudden, I start feeling a little weird.
Yeah. Oh, I'm the same way.
Whiskey or something would probably help. I don't know.
Where did this come from?
What the heck?
And our friend Brian from Wild Hare Jerky here.
Hey,
Whiskey.
yeah.
Wow.
I tell you, this is
Gee
not,
with it.
This is not edited because you said you felt like crap when you showed up.
It's like magic. Here, get you some of that, John Bird.
You
don't.
Pour us all some.
So let me ask a question.
Cool.
Before you do that, would you like something else to put it in?
Oh,
I'm gonna let you fight over it. I'm gonna let you fight over it. I know that looks familiar,
look at that.
but this is the one y'all got to fight over because I asked you if you had one already.
Oh, that one's
gonna show
fancy,
that.
John Bird. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's laser etched right there.
Yeah, you can have that one. Don't
That's
worry
all I got
about
for
me.
you.
Oh, he's got one for everybody, John Bird. Don't worry about
I
it.
thought you had one. That's why I asked you. If
I'm going to fill this sucker up.
But yeah, take it easy.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
get too
yeah,
wild with it.
Nice.
I do. I
have some
actually,
ice. I'm gonna put some ice in it.
you are the merch king. So like, I got one of these that's white, and I've got another one that's pink that I guess belongs to Trish, but everybody else uses them. I don't ever get to use them.
Yeah. So the lady that did our merch, she created like a whole bunch of them. Said, "Hey, just try these. You know, see what you think about them." Some of them looked awesome. Some of them are like, I don't know. So, but I think y'all lucked out because I sent a whole bunch to the station.
Yeah.
And I think you sent me a pic one time where they were sitting in the drain where somebody had used it and washed it. So
Yeah.
obviously they're being used.
Yeah,
so that's a
the
good thing.
people like that stuff. Here you go, Tony Gump. Let's get Amy. Amy, you want some of this? Amy's in the audience today.
You know you do.
I have to drive later.
Oh, she's got to drive. Well, I mean, if you wouldn't have said that, you could have drank. But now,
Well, if she wasn't driving, I wouldn't be, or I wouldn't be able to drink. So
that's true. That's a good point.
thank you, Amy.
John Bird, thank you. Wow, that's a lot. But thank you, John Bird. I usually don't drink this time of day anyway, so I'm just gonna. It's gonna. Let me
won't
spill
hurt.
it everywhere.
Okay, you got
Well,
a
that-
problem already. So.
I'm out of here.
Dude, listen. Usually John Bird's the one spilling stuff. That's a first for me. I usually don't do that.
Amy, will you get me a Coke out of the fridge? Thank you.
More magic.
That was cool.
I didn't drink out of it. I promise you.
Yeah, you can just use
I
that
just
one.
poured
John
it out.
Bird's good. He's fine.
I'm good now, Amy.
There's a lot going on in here right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
bring it.
and you
By the
told
way,
me.
congratulations on the studio. It looks awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I usually I ask people, and we've only had two people that came in here. I asked them what they thought, and they're like, "It's about what I expected." I'm like, "That's not what you're supposed to say. You're supposed to say, wow, this is a lot nicer than I thought." Because
Well, it is.
from the podcast, from the videos, you can only see so much. You see this part, part, that part, and that's it. But a lot of work was put into this. Tony Gump working like a madman.
Yes, he did.
Over
Was
the course
it,
of
what I hear, like a week and a half you had this all set up?
So it was about a full month, but open to close, like
That's
morning
concrete,
till very end.
boards and everything, right?
There was no blueprint, but just got some wood and some black paint and just kind of went to town with
That's
it.
from scratch to the point that you got to where we were able to do our first episode in here, which was just me with 3 cameras on me and Tony hanging out in the background with no cameras. And then there's been modifications that have happened countless times just to, because you get started, like we've even got. We need to turn our little blue lights on behind him, Tony. I didn't think. Oh, look, Amy, thank you so much. What?
I just
don't.
want to know,
We've got a lot of different
is that
things.
easier to clean up than crackers?
I don't know, John Bird. Is it easier to kick? Is it easier to clean up liquid than it is crackers?
Well, I mean, the liquid is going to permeate into the wood and ruin it.
Right.
The crackers, you can they're harder to get off.
Well, you
But I
did-
mean, you're going to ruin the table, so you take that up with Tony. I only use food stuff, which won't ruin the table.
Yeah.
Because I care about Tony.
Dry goods.
Yes,
Yeah.
dry goods only.
dealing with John Bird, it's almost as if we're, it's we love John Bird, but it's like dealing with a child at times. But it's like your favorite child.
Yes.
Like if you got 5 kids, like he's your favorite.
If your favorite child is like talented and a genius and good looking.
And an alcoholic. It's like he's like our alcoholic 5-year-old. Is what John Bird's like. So
I only drink when I'm here. So what does that say about you, Andrew? Or you, Tony?
I didn't bring the Jack.
I only drink when you guys bring it here, so I'm good.
That's
you're
true.
in trouble tonight.
Whose
is what I
fault
brought,
is it?
Well,
Because there is this web where if I bring it, Tony has brought it up, and I'm not opposed to it, and then guests bring it in, so I don't really know who's at fault for it.
you've brought it before.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that hasn't. So I'm the only one being taken advantage of in this situation.
Wait a minute. You haven't brought anything, but you've been able to partake in all of it.
Yeah. Hey,
Doesn't sound like you're at a disadvantage, brother.
I bring me, baby.
Yeah.
I bring it all.
That's all we want John Bird to bring, honestly. That's the rules.
Because I ain't got nothing else.
I need to bring this up because this is something we've been talking about for a couple of days. So Tony Gump watches this guy by the name of Nick Johnson.
Love him.
And he's introduced me to his channel. And I think it was Saturday. He sends me a text. He's like, dude, you're not going to believe this. And I'm like, what? He's like, Boomer's on this YouTube channel. And of course, I don't know anything about Nick Johnson at that time. And so he sends it to me, and I'm like, well, that seems like a very Boomer thing. Like, if there's a camera or a microphone, Boomer's going to try to get on it, right? And he shows me, and he explains, like, Nick Johnson's a big guy. Like, he's got over 1 million subscribers and everything else. Apparently, and explain this to me, he was doing a story on illegals.
Yeah, he came out. I've been following this guy since like 25,000 followers. Love him, Nick Johnson, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I get his videos, subscribe bell, all that stuff. And I got one that popped up and it said Alabama on it. So I just clicked on it. It was like 2 hours in. And within like 15, 20 seconds, I see Boomer on there talking to this guy. And I was super jealous of Boomer. I was like, oh, man.
That had to be surreal, though. You'd be like, Boomer, what are you doing? You know Boomer, right?
I don't know him personally.
You not met him in person,
right,
but you
I've
know him
seen
through
a lot of the.
Did Boomer know who that was?
The text
He
and
just
back
like,
and forth.
well, I'll just.
I
That's a good
texted
question.
Boomer right after it happened, and it took him a few hours to respond. He was probably still sleeping from the hangover. But
Right.
I showed Amy right away. She was I was like, Amy, check this out, and she was stunned too. We couldn't believe it.
So Boomer didn't say whether or not he knows Nick Johnson.
He said that he pulled up, and they ended up having a beer together, and he interviewed him.
Boomer
So
and beer?
Boomer was drinking beer on his porch, and this guy pulls up, and Nick's a super nice guy. I mean, I love this guy. He used to sing these weird songs, do this karaoke stuff. But if you don't listen to Nick Johnson or watch him, check him out on YouTube. He's awesome.
Nick Johnson, if you're watching this and you take anything away from this video, know that Tony Gump is your #1 fan.
Oh yeah.
Here's the part of the video with Boomer.
Yeah, there's 3 parts. I got them split up so that way I don't use too much of his videos, because Nick said he likes people to ask to use his stuff, and I totally get that.
Yeah, we emailed him. He gave us the green light.
I like
But
his shirt, by the way.
Boomer, yeah, it's a good looking shirt. Boomer is or this video is about illegal immigration, and obviously Boomer being in Silicaga, that I guess that's where they're at, and he's fighting mad. Boomer is fighting mad in this video.
Okay, here we go.
Right. And you'll have to excuse my quivering chin because it just makes me so mad that I just love to just go up there and pop him right in the mouth.
Run, Nick, run! He's gonna hit you.
So that's part 1. Let me pull up.
That's so good.
They go back to him. I got them ready to go. So
Can I say something else? Like, Boomer will, like, when we're on the radio, he will text every day the text line, and he will say, open the phone lines. I need to talk about something. And I rarely open the phone lines because I got so much to get to. But every day he's like, open the phone lines. And I'm like, Boomer.
All
I
right,
got
part
you.
2.
They're not a bunch of cat eaters that are going to go in here and rape your wife and all that, but
Damn.
you got to put all that aside. The fact of the matter is what you're dealing with
Boomer.
is a small town in rural America that people are set in their ways and they don't like change. And that's where the problem lies. Herein lies. They want their town to grow, but they don't want to diverse. Now, by no means, as you can tell with my hat, I am not a Democrat. but I come from a diverse population. I was born and raised in South Miami, so I understand having Polish people, Italian people, Haitian people, Cubans, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans. I mean, everything. And this was 70s and 80s.
That sounds like
Now,
a
way
standard,
down here along that.
a standard boomer phone call
So
to the
that's-
radio station.
Pretty much.
So that's part 2. Here's part 3. He ends. Nick actually ends the video with him with the final words, which I thought was really awesome.
Final
Did
words.
Boomer provide his own microphone on this, by the way? 'Cause it just
Probably.
looks
He
like
probably
he's
carries
like,
it
hey,
around.
I got my own.
I think Nick brought it for him. Yeah. So, all right. So here's his final words.
My biggest issue is the government, the federal government, has totally screwed not only the American people, but they're screwing these pawns. They're using them as political pawns because they have totally ruined what this country stood for. They send your taxpayers' money, your money, without even asking you, anywhere they want to. But yet, when you need it, it's in somebody else's pocket now. Screw them, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't
Screw
like
'em.
it. Not at all.
Nice.
And that's how Alabamians are going to feel when it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. What can they do about it? Nothing. Or they'll get cuffed and stuffed while the immigrants take over their house while they're in freaking jail. So, I mean, come on. What do you do? If anybody's got any answers, hop onto this YouTube channel and let's see them in the comments.
Yeah.
Because we'd love to know what the answers are.
Let us know, baby.
And I got one word: evolution ray.
Evolution ray. What does that mean?
Well,
I mean, I know what it means, but
Pig
what?
Latin.
Why?
he's thinking-
Evolution ray. Evolution
Oh,
ray.
revolution. Gotcha.
I didn't think
I
that
picked
might
up
get
what
us
you
in
said.
trouble.
I'm gonna pull up this guy's channel just so people can see.
We,
That's Nick Johnson right there.
What do y'all think the chances are that Boomer had that speech? And by the way, appreciate his passion, but
Yeah.
what are the chances that he had that speech ready for the day that some YouTuber drove by his house and saw him sitting on the porch?
I about guarantee you he didn't have cue cards.
No, he did not.
But I bet he had
Goes on the
bullet
fly.
points that he memorized.
Oh no, that's
Because you could see him going through his mental Rolodex a couple of times.
Well, for somebody that wants to call the radio that often, like he's got his
A lot to say.
point making down to an art. Like he knows what he's going
Did you
for.
think at the end of it he was going to go, and hey now?
He should have.
I know.
It started off that way.
Really, did you drop the ball, Boomer? And
I
went
think
on
he
the-
did pretty good personally.
Yeah.
He listens to the station all the time, and
Oh, yeah.
I'm still flabbergasted. You know that Nick Jan. I'm jealous. Like honestly,
He's a Nick Johnson super fan, and I
Yeah.
really didn't know until today. He's really
I
showing
have
it.
a hard time listening because I'm at work, but when I do hear the station, I hear him on there often.
Yep.
And then on the live chats, obviously, he's
Yeah.
heard quite a bit.
yeah, we love Boomer.
Boomer's so in the mix. I just noticed that I received a call from him on Facebook Messenger.
I was going to say, he just text you.
He like as soon as the show started, he started calling me like he knows that we were going to talk about him. So
I don't know. I've met Hulk Hogan, Kirsty. I could go with a list of people, and I have never met Nick Johnson. I just can't believe it.
we'll see what Boomer says.
Shout out to Boomer. Jeez.
He says
Lucas Black, that's close
Oh
enough.
my God! Look at all this. Look at this.
I didn't meet him. I just saw him.
He said, "Just call me when you can," and gave me his phone number. So, he's wanting to know.
Does he want some jerky or something?
He probably does. He's wanting to know about the watch party. I can talk about this because it's transpired on the
Right.
show. So he won tickets from us, fair and square.
Okay.
And then he says, I've been banned from the event. And I didn't know anything about it, but he tried to explain it. I didn't understand it. Something about Val and online and something. And I was like, well, you won this contest. That's all I know. I'm going to put you on the list, and then I'll let the people down the line figure it out. I don't know. Was there ever a resolution to that?
I don't know. When I talked to Steve West, the morning producer, he said he's not banned.
Yeah, everybody's like,
So
I don't
maybe
know nothing about it.
they were kind of doing a morning show, kind of joking
bit.
around, and he took it seriously. But
I don't know.
Do you get that? Do you get that where people win something and they're your common followers or people who comment and stuff like that, and you're like, oh god, somebody's going to think this was set up?
We actually did have somebody say it was rigged the other day when they did the what was it, the Make John Bird Laugh, which was not a good segment. I don't think that one turned out well because he almost laughed during every single call. But once he finally did, it was just one person out of
That's
like
kind
100.
of a crapshoot that he's going to laugh anyways, right?
Yeah.
Right.
You don't know. I mean, the ADHD stuff was funny because I'm riddled with it.
The point of the contest was not just to make John Bird laugh, but you got to get his attention enough to make him laugh. Because while he's out here, looking at the clouds out the
Looking
window,
at the clouds, doing all the behind the scenes
That's a
stuff.
battle in itself, I'm sure, right there.
well, it was the John Bird spelling bee his went pretty well. I feel like.
So you realize on my way down here, I was listening to that, right? And I text Andrew and I said, "Is this for real?" And he said, "It's absolutely for real."
I mean, I'm telling you, I won my spelling bee in the 4th grade. I used to be an incredible speller, but something has just happened. I guess when I'm put on the spot.
Do you mind just trying one more?
Oh God!
Just one.
Just
one.
he already
All right.
knows it. Give him sacrilege again.
Okay.
Sacrilegious. See if he can.
No, that would be sacrilege.
Look, I was all behind you on that one, and then when you missed that one, I was like, well, I can understand. Then when entrepreneur come up, I was like, he's got this one.
Well,
I thought I had it too.
let's start low. All right, let's just go with something simple like weird.
WEIRD.
Okay, all right, that's not bad. Let's go with
Habanero.
habanero.
HABERNARO.
Say again.
No, I already said it. Next.
All right, okay, hang on. Go with liaison.
I'm not stupid.
I think he
say
missed
you
that.
were.
He missed that already on the show.
Yeah, we did
once.
that one
Oh
already.
yeah, I win.
I know that one. I work with them all the
Next.
time.
LIA. Is that what you said?
So
No, yeah.
He guessed LIASON on the radio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that was wrong.
It's LIAISON.
Yeah.
Whoa, take that back. I was wrong. I was wrong.
Let's do
That's what I said.
last one. Minuscule.
MINISCULE.
Oh, we did that one on the show, and
Yeah,
he
you
spelled the
did.
same way. I was
That's
wrong.
not. That's not.
But you
right.
said it was pronounced a different way.
Yes.
It's-
Thank you.
Well, it's minuscule school, or it's got a U instead of an I. The
yes.
second one.
Minuscule. You're like mini school.
Pronounced it's minuscule.
It's
Yeah.
minuscule.
No, it says minuscule. That's
I know exactly.
I don't know.
He deliberately does that stuff to me all the time. Nobody knows.
Well, here's what gets me is like the people that are playing. All you got to do is say he's not going to get it right, and you win. But everybody had all this confidence, which should be encouraging to you that everybody thinks highly of you.
Well, they do to start with, and now they hate me.
Now they hate you. Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. When dog came up, I was literally sitting there thinking, are they going to throw a WG in there?
Oh, that's the first
When
thing
he
that
asked
popped
about
in my
Georgia,
head.
It's like,
I was
dog.
Okay, I could understand. I could go one or two.
No, I had to wrap that thing up. It was going on way too long. I
I was
figured I had to
looking
get
at
out
the
of
clock.
there.
I'm like, you got about 2 minutes left.
I was gonna go like caller 9, but I was like, no, we're gonna finish this out. Whether I gotta set him up or whatever.
Yeah, caller nine's
It
too.
set me up.
And just for the listeners all out there, I can guarantee you 100% nothing is scripted, whether it's on
Right.
the show or on this podcast.
No.
We literally just wing it every single
Yep.
time.
So probably year and a half, 2 years ago, I think that probably got brought up. I asked you about that, and you said John Bird is legitimately John Bird.
That's
there
a
is, like you
question,
said,
yeah.
Tony. There's nothing scripted about any of this.
That's a question I do get often. People that listen to the show, they say, "Is John Bird really the way he is on air?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I don't
not the way he is, he's
apologize.
just
I
John Bird.
fought the way I was for years and tried to be Mr. Normal and all that, and I was miserable. And after I lost everything, was living in my car, I decided, you know what? I'm just going to be myself.
You be you, brother.
yeah."
Yeah, and now I'm living in a beautiful house with a hole in the roof. I got a car that barely works, and job
like
that
your
pays
car? Is that
less
a
than
sunroof? The hole
McDonald's,
in your
and
roof?
I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
The hole in your roof, is that sunroof?
No,
Oh,
it's
okay.
sunroof for the house. No, when it falls in and kills me, though, I'll
Ooh, that's
make the
bad.
news finally.
But listen, I mean, you're much more loved being yourself than you are
I was
whatever
pretty
you used
miserable.
to
I was
be.
pretty freaking miserable.
Was this
before.
Crawford days, like when you were program director?
I was holding it together pretty good. After the music thing crashed and burned, then I got into radio and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Then it got corporate real quick, and then I was like, and then I got screwed over in radio, and then I went down this path where I was like,
You mean with all that money you made at Crawford, you didn't have enough saved up to keep your life going after you got canned?
Jeez. I actually made a decent amount at Crawford's because I was doing 6 different things.
Oh, I got you.
When you're
Y'all's industry is kind of volatile, isn't it?
It is.
oh yeah,
I mean, you never really know from what, month to month or
I
week to week.
think we're pretty fortunate, the position we're in. I think it's rare. I mean, on multiple fronts. We were talking about in our meeting today how robust our sales force is, which is rare in radio. Radio stations, we usually have like 2 salespeople, and we got a whole team. We've got...
and they sell. That's the big thing. Everybody
sell.
pulls their weight.
Yeah, and so it makes us look good within the company. But the industry as a whole, it's kind of a given that
Sucks.
they could pull the plug on you at any moment.
Right.
So, you said you brought. What else did you bring besides this?
Man, I got a bunch of stuff.
Let's see it.
You
I'm
do?
ready.
What
You
is-
ready?
This is the reason John Bird would not be here if he didn't know somebody was going to be here.
That's
with us.
a bald-faced
He was going to
lie.
call in sick, and he was like, "Wait, what?" So first of all, don't pay attention to the maker of this bottle, but this is a homemade.
Oh, look at that!
I didn't date it, but that's probably 6-7 months old at least. That's a amaretto.
You made this?
Yes.
Wow.
It's a family recipe. Obviously, I do a lot more than just make jerky. I've barbecued, smoked stuff, done a lot of different things. And certain things I do really good at, that's a family recipe. But it's one of those, you don't make it and give it away in 2 weeks. You got to hang on to it for a while.
So it's, what'd you say, 9 months?
6, 7, 8 months. I forget. It may be from 2023. It's been sitting there a while.
Man, what all do you make? You make jerky? You make booze? Do you make
Those are the most important ones right there, right? That's a man's world right there.
marijuana?
No,
What else do you do?
I don't grow any of that.
You got all your
Don't
food
let the
groups,
nickname fool
jerky
you.
and whiskey, man. Are you kidding?
I know, dude.
So it's funny you say that because we often try different things, right? Because you got to try to
Look at his
expand. Yeah, I got
face.
a whole bunch of stuff. No, I got a whole bunch of different things here. So we made Bridget's working at the shop. She's the primary person that works there. My wife covers for me a lot when I'm there. Or when I'm not there. So we made a couple flavors. So the jalapeno that we were making, the seasoning that we used, a lot of people were like, everybody's palate's different, obviously.
Right.
You can handle a Reaper. You, obviously, like me, run as far away as you can. So the jalapeno wasn't really good. It was good flavor, but it didn't taste like jalapeno. So we tried something different. Y'all welcome to try it. I know on the podcast.
Do the honors, John Bird.
Podcast. No. Like I said, I will warn you. I will tell you if it's
So
deer.
you
I'll tell
would
you if it's
eat
going to
it.
light you up.
You don't have to now.
I just don't like jalapeno, but
Oh,
yes,
okay.
I would
but
try
not
it.
because it's hot.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, I just don't
No,
like
it's
flavor.
I'm going to be honest with you. That's but we tried it. That's why it's in a bag like that, because we're probably not going to end up
Selling it.
using it. Yeah.
He liked.
Like
Well,
I said, you've got to practice.
And
right?
you've given me a jalapeno before, and I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was the same one, but that spice, it's just like it's weird. It's really powdery, and so this one thing I'll say, and I told my buddy I would shout him out a little bit. Justin with Norala Barbecue. He's on the barbecue circuit. He found, and I found a certain spice that it was like so hot on chicken wings. I was like, oh, I can't eat this stuff, But when you put it on jerky, everything's cooked differently, so the profiles change. And I was talking to my buddy Justin, and I was like, hey, he knew who the owner of this particular spice was, and he said, yeah, same way. Put it on chicken, hot as can be, but when you put it on a Boston butt where it cooks longer, changes the profile. Right? So that's the only thing I can figure is that the jalapeno spice that we're using, sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. That's
Yeah.
part of learning, right? And, we've got about 13 flavors. Some of them sell better than others. They rotate back and forth to get people into stuff.
Right.
But originally, I heard you say the other day when you talked about us first getting open, you said one of the things was that you were kind of inspiration on some of the hot stuff we had, right? If you remember, I used to have something called DUI, and it stood for Dave's Ultimate Insanity Sauce. There was a good pepper flavor with that, and you and Trish, back when you and Trish were on the podcast, you were talking about, we'd like to have something.
I do. Okay, I
Yeah,
do
you remember,
that.
right?
Who is
So-
Dave, though?
I'm sorry.
Who's Dave? You said Dave's Insanity. Dave's.
No, Dave's Ultimate Insanity
But
Sauce.
who's Dave?
I don't know, Dave. This is the brand of the hot
Oh,
sauce.
okay. I thought you named it
You
after
never
a
heard of
friend or
Dave's
something.
Ultimate Insanity Sauce?
No.
Oh, this stuff will just it'll light you up.
I
It was
haven't
the
seen
stuff back in the day before hot sauces really became so just like blown out of proportion.
Yeah.
Right? So what I did on these two is I made one with the exact same peppers.
Okay.
Right. Something we pureed. I would say this would be safe for you. So y'all can try this. I'll let you try that, but I'm gonna let you try this one.
Before you go, John Bird, you got to give us a 1 to 10 on the jalapeno.
Okay, the jalapeno was about a 3.5 to a 4.
I was about to
for
say,
me.
be honest, because
Okay.
I didn't like it. We're probably not going to carry it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little
That's
hot,
actually-
but it didn't stay on for a long
Yeah, that's
long
actually
time.
we were thinking that might be a replacement for the current jalapeno that I'm not really excited about.
Yeah.
And what is this one called?
We're going to call that the line
Ooh.
as of today. No, listen, before you say that.
Now he's going to change it.
No, it's
we
going
got
to.
excited.
It's probably not going to be the line. I'll make something else called the line because it's not as great as I would like it to be.
All right, what is this?
Oh my God.
No.
Over the line, yes.
No,
Get
no.
it over. Oh, he already named it
Yeah,
over
you're
the
trying to
line.
jump ahead.
You blew it.
You're trying to jump ahead, John Bird.
Okay.
So that one, I think you'll be good with. That one, Bridget says, it's got a little bit of fire behind it.
Yeah.
This
So-
is be more along your lines. Now, I will say I used a little different pepper than the original one that I had that we changed from DUI to over the line.
Yeah.
Mainly because I couldn't find the peppers I normally use. So
This
that's
is
good, right?
good.
Good pepper flavor? But it's not hot, right? Obviously,
No,
'cause
it's for
you'd be-
normal people.
You'd be freaking out, right?
1 to
about that.
10?
On what? Flavor?
Flavor.
Or heat?
Flavor, I'll give it almost a 9.
Okay.
Heat like a 2. Is it hot at all? Yeah,
No.
Okay. Yeah.
God, this one reminds me of something, and I can't think of what it is. Like in a
Probably
good way.
stuff I gave you a bunch of years ago. right?
Probably. And then try this one. I just can't eat during the show. or I'll be done for.
Can I try it, or you be honest? Should I try that, or is it?
Oh, I'll be honest with you. I didn't try it.
You'll be
But
fine.
You're a liar.
Look, so Bridget
got
tried it,
everything you
and she
need.
said her lips burned. She didn't say anything beyond.
Ja
It's not a
Bird.
ghost pepper. It's not a ghost pepper.
It's named after the podcast. How can you not try
Yeah,
it?
you've got to support the podcast. So the rest of these are common flavors y'all have had before. I just got to.
This is a good one.
I brought a bunch for you guys. Just some of our top sellers.
Sweet heat right there. You see
this is-
that?
So I will say, let's know how that
brutal.
tastes first.
It smells
It's not going to be
brutal.
brutal.
Tony Gump, which one do you want to try? Do you want to try?
Just hand me one.
He needs
I'm
to try.
good.
No, Gump needs to try that. That
what
is-
about Jamaican?
that? Is rapidly becoming a very, very popular flavor.
Try that Jamaican. That one's actually
That's
pretty
yours.
good. I've had that one as well.
Yeah, the only thing Jamaican I've ever tried before. Well, never mind. You know.
Jamaican.
So
ganja.
I actually had a guy that said his family was from Jamaica, and they tried that jerky and said it was actually legitimately Jamaican flavor. Which
All right.
it's not like I grew the plants and did it myself,
Interesting.
but it seems that it tastes pretty good.
Did they know Kamala's dad out there?
No, they didn't say anything about that.
Okay.
Amy, you and Tony try the line. We need your
I like this
opinions
over
on
the
that.
line. It is hot now, but it's not like, oh God, I'm
yeah,
gonna
it's
die
not
hot.
overbearing, right?
Yeah, you can really taste the flavor. To me, what I don't like about the super hot ones, I can't taste the flavor. It's so hot.
Right. So
This
you
get heat and you taste the flavor.
So you know the unholy trinity that we have.
Yes.
It's ghost pepper, scorpion powder, and Carolina Reaper on top of one another.
right.
If it was like the one chip challenge that I know from history, like you and Jessica, you and AJ, everybody, it tastes like a really hot piece of cardboard.
Right.
We didn't want that. If it's not flavorful, I will not sell it. I will not do it. And the unholy trinity, as hot as it is, and you've had it, it's actually got flavor, right?
Yeah.
And then on top of it, in some cases, it'll
I've
light your booty
got
hole up.
right now a bag that you sent me a long time ago.
Yeah, you've been hanging on to it, haven't
That
you?
I've just been like periodically, if I just happen to look at my little recliner snack thing and I see it, I'll eat a piece. And I mean, it's months and months old, and it's still good.
Yeah, so that's one of the things that people ask too. They say, "How long does this stuff last?" So I told you before, I've got a bunch of people I'm friends with on our groups that I'm on Facebook, and a lot of them are jerky related sites, and I see so many different things about how to make jerky or shelf life and stuff like that. And to be honest with you, there's some minimums. 145 degrees for at least 4 minutes kills off bacteria, and then everything outside of that changes. People smoke it, people dehydrate it, people use curing salts, all this stuff. We use absolutely zero preservatives. This is straight up. I have round beef. We literally take from a roast, we get a case of meat, so 12 roasts, 60 to 90 pounds, depending on what it is that day. We trim all the fat off. We trim it from a roast to a fillet to a strip. We marinate it, season it, cook it, package it. We even make our own labels, which they're not the fanciest things in the world, but I'm telling people today at the shop, they're asking about their new people come in there. And I was like, look, we're trying to pass the savings on to people. You're literally getting handed 3 or 4 bags in a Kroger bag or a Publix
People
bag.
ask about the label?
No, nobody does. I'm just saying we literally make everything
Yeah.
there in the shop. Nothing comes from the outside.
Well, that's probably rare because I can't think of anywhere else where you could go buy beef jerky at the exact spot that they make it. Like you get it from Buc-ee's and it came from God knows where and everything else.
So I actually verified this before I came on here today. I talked to a lady from the state. All right, so this has been going on a long time.
Yes.
We've officially been open. This is our 4th week. But I've literally been paying rent for 2 years.
Right.
September is 2 years I've been in this place. Mm-hmm. And the first year I will blame on myself trying to balance life. I got a full-time job. I'm trying to, make rent and do things. And I've been making jerky for over 20 years.
Yeah.
And it got to a point, like anybody who does something for a long time, you hopefully perfect it, right? If you're really serious about it. And I think from our flavors, obviously we've perfected it. And then at some point I had a bunch of family and friends who are like, yeah, dude, you got to go legit. You got to go legit. And I'm gonna give all credit to my wife. We were driving by some shop one day and she's like, oh, did you hear so-and-so over there retired? They're not there anymore. I said, yeah, so I've only been there once or twice, whatever the store was. And she said, well, that might be a place for you to open up a jerky company.
Yeah.
And that's how it started.
Look at these women. They got the foresight.
Yep.
Well,
I can tell you the
smart.
Jamaican's really good, by the way.
Did you feel a little bit of sweet and then a little bit of heat on the backside? Nothing super hot, but just
Yeah, I
a
got
little
sweet heat on the back burner. I mean,
That's-
I'm not a jerky eater, but I like this stuff. I would eat it. I'd give it a 9.5.
So that's legit Jamaican. Now, here's the funny thing when we talk about profiles. If you took that same exact seasoning that we have and you put it on something like chicken, changes everything. Changes everything. That super hot stuff that I put on chicken, couldn't eat it. It's too hot. Put it on jerky over a time period. You eat it, it's like 0 heat on it.
Because you gave me some scorpion pepper powder
Yes.
that I still have at the house.
That
but
is hot.
I'm not allowed to put it on anything that's like, I can't put
That
it on our
anybody else
dinner.
eats other than
Yeah,
you?
right. Yeah.
That's probably safe. Don't eat anything he just brings in.
Is there any garlic
I've
in
learned
this
that.
Jamaican at all? Garlic herb or something?
Honestly, I'd have to look at the actual seasoning of the guy. I mean,
catching
granted,
like
I don't
garlic
grow
pepper.
these and make most of these seasonings. There's 2 that I make on my own, if you will. Everything
ever-
else is a base marinade plus seasoning.
Do you ever buy any seasonings from Temu?
No.
Okay. Good. That's a good thing.
If I do, though, you'll be the first one I send it
I
to,
would-
and then you let me know how it works. You
I would
gotta-
put that-
I know you got a heated bidet, right?
Yeah.
That's what I've heard.
I would
So
put
yeah.
that on the website. Say, do not buy our stuff from Temu. Here's over the line. Incoming! Oh, no.
Where's that? Here you go.
Such an idiot.
Not me.
Very good.
God.
There we go.
Why?
That was actually the first big spill
I know.
that we've had.
I know. I've been watching y'all for a long time.
But that's all right. Here, we'll
It'll be all right.
here's a cup you can put the ice in. It's
Hey, the
fine,
good thing is,
John
John, we got plenty of whiskey.
Totally unscripted.
Bird. that's the beauty of this podcast.
This will not be edited.
What other podcast is going to allow that to happen and then leave it in? Like, we're not going to edit that out. That's going to be part of the show.
I mean, you could do Rogan. He could piss in a jar somewhere like Ari Shafir does later.
Oh, I hadn't seen that.
Oh,
I don't know if I
it's
need to
common.
see it.
Yeah, they don't actually show it, but you hear about it. So
Was that whiskey, by the way?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that
Probably.
makes it even worse. I mean, the fact that that whiskey is now gone. It's okay.
John, why are you
We got
looking at off the
Paper
oh, no.
towels coming in here.
He's squeezing it. Look, he's
Andrew.
squeezing it. Look at this. Put that on camera. We don't have a camera on.
We've got more of everything.
Oh, that's funny.
But he did save the jerky, by the way. I gotta
He
give him
did.
credit
Yeah,
on
the
that.
jerky's fine.
So 2 of the flavors that I was talking about that it's not necessarily standard is this one right here is my own marinade
Okay.
and seasoning. That's the sweet and spicy. We weren't planning on carrying that. It's not even on the website. It is strictly something that we would make every now and then.
Yeah.
But through the point of sale system, which Tony, I may want to talk to you later about your point of sale system. It's probably a little bit different, but it tracks everything.
Yeah.
It tells you from the hour what you made between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. It tells you what your top peak hours were, your flavors, everything. And actually, the sweet and spicy has stood out on the top 5.
Really?
Yes,
What's
out of
like?
basically 13 flavors plus the really hot stuff, right?
How do you describe this?
It's sweet and spicy.
Okay, fair enough.
So it's so basically, I don't have a problem telling anybody because if you can make it, hey, good for you. It's basically a Worcestershire, which I probably pronounced.
Okay, that's
most
good.
people can. Some soy sauce and some honey and some brown sugar and then some red pepper flakes.
So it's got a little bit of heat, a little bit of Chinese kind of.
No, it's no Timu to it. I promise you. Now
No
the funny thing
Chinese
is
Timu.
the one thing you have to understand is that words are everything. So when you say sweet and spicy, somebody like John may sit there and go, oh, you know, especially if you give it to him.
No
right?
spicy.
He's going to freak out, right? But I'm telling you, there's not a whole lot of spice to that. I've actually sent this to you before when I made it long ago, and I think actually you said Trish liked it. I don't remember. But
Yeah.
you can't eat it.
You've
John
sent
can.
me. You've sent me so much beef jerky. I don't
I've
remember
sent you a
what's
lot.
what.
I've
So
sent
I got
you
a
a
lot of questions.
And I got some other. So this one here, now you were talking about sending you the scorpion powder. This one here is another one. It's the same base marinade as a lot of these, other than the sweet and spicy. But this is our own seasoning. It is a dry coffee ground and chipotle mix.
Whoa.
And if you may remember this, but I put on the Facebook page, this is what it is. We need a name for it. And one of the followers that I believe probably she may have come from your podcast and stuff. She said, "Hey, the spicy grind," and I'm like, "Okay, that's perfect because you got coffee, right?"
Yeah.
So with that, because like I said, every profile changes. I brought you if I can find it.
You're full of so much info, bro. Like a lot of beef jerky.
This
info.
is so cool because I'm a jerky man.
Well,
Yeah, you are.
I wish I could tell you everything about jerky, but it's like trying to tell you everything about smoking barbecue ribs. Everything changes. So what I've done is I brought you this bottle of the spicy grind that we make.
Nice.
So what I want you to do is I want you to try that on something like chicken,
Okay.
or something different. I don't know if I do fish on it, but chicken, steak, something like that, and then just you text me later and tell me how you like it.
I wish we could have a split
Smell
screen
it.
of John Bird just mowing through these bags.
Well, I'm just tasting different things, and that's what the podcast is all
That's
about.
what it's all about. So we actually had a lady that came in. She said, "We've been following you for the 2 years that you've been, had this stuff going, but waiting for you to open." And she, within 20 minutes, had tagged us on a Facebook post and said, "Oh my God, this stuff's so good. I've already opened 3 bags in the pickup line, picking up her kid
Nice.
from the school that's literally 5 minutes down the road."
That's
So
my
you're
deal.
you're doing perfect, John.
Is like when it comes to the roasted garlic and herb, I will, if I'm not careful, I'll mow through a whole bag if I open a new one.
Yes. Which, as a businessman, I love that.
Yeah.
Let me
Eat
tell
everything
you,
can.
I would almost kill a man for the sweet and spicy.
Not too spicy?
No, it's not spicy.
I
At
would
all.
almost kill a man for this.
That's good.
It is so good.
Is that your favorite so far?
Oh, he's not going to have one. There's too many. There's too many.
There's too
eights up
many. I
there.
mean, even
Too
the
many-
spicy ones I'm digging.
Now it's funny you mention that because actually we've had a lot of people have come in the last, like I said, we're on week 4. Have come in every week, and every week they're like, "Okay, I really like such and such, but I'm ready to try something new,"
Yeah.
and everything's worked out pretty good.
Do you have-
except for the jalapeno? I'm just not really hip on that.
Yeah. Well, you got so many other spicy varieties. Jalapeno just on its surface without tasting it, it seems just kind of.
Well, when you think
you
about
got other
jalapeno, what do you think
options.
about? You think about a pepper, and you think that it's going to be hot. Sometimes it has a good pepper flavor, but again, when you cook something and when you dehydrate, we literally dehydrate for at 165 degrees for up to 12 hours, depending on how much our machine's full. I have 4 machines that can fit about 300 pounds of meat on it at one time.
Wow.
Nice.
Everything yields a third. So when all you listeners out there wonder why jerky costs so much, because you need 3 pounds of beef to make 1 pound of jerky.
Wow.
So that's why it gets kind of expensive.
That's
right?
crazy.
But all the profiles change. So you try something in one, and the other things, because we make everything from scratch, if you're shaking spice on it and you miss a corner or you hit the center twice, if you're using chipotle, for instance, you may eat a piece of chipotle off the corner of the rack and go, that doesn't taste too hot. And you may eat one from the middle that got a double shake and go, oh my God, it's too hot. So
Yeah.
that's why most of the time we say, if you are curious, get a second piece.
Yeah.
Because you can't always go by one.
And people can order online, obviously. This is your website right here.
Awesome, yeah.
And it's even got a video of us. Can we watch
Yes,
that video?
play
We
that
did that so
video.
long. I don't even know if it's any good. We may have to do a new one. Let's see.
I wonder if this is after a podcast y'all been drinking.
It was.
Hey, you, right
better
there.
not get
you
copyrighted.
watching Me. I wanted to tell you how much I love wild hair jerky, and I want John Bird to tell you how much he loves wild hair jerky.
I love the name Wild Hare Jerky, and I love the flavors, except the really hot ones. They give me gas.
John Bird is a wild hare, believe it or not.
I've
And
got a
that's-
wild hair up my ass right now.
That's why he connects so well with Wild Hare Jerky.
Yes.
But seriously, best jerky on the planet. If you have not tried it, you need to do it. It is John Bird approved.
Yes, it is. 2 thumbs.
All right. See you, cuz.
You
Yeah,
forgot to throw in Trump 2024 America.
Yeah, we need to redo that one.
Yeah.
I think a new one. We don't need to have the intro. We need to just have like a fade in and fade out. And
good.
fading out with John Bird with the 2 thumbs up would have been good.
That's good. If you go down a little bit, you also see the picture of the dog right there. Sort of like this place. None of this is scripted. That is actually a customer I had in Utah, I think it was, and literally took that picture with his dog and the merch in it and all that other stuff. And you can, people can go on the website and read it. And that's how impressed he was with it. It was
Doing this for 2 years. You've only been open 4 weeks, but doing this for 2 years and like
20 years.
Selling it though.
20 years.
You've been selling to
according to the health department and the business stuff. Yes, 4 weeks.
Okay, selling privately to friends and family.
Yes.
If you've been doing that over
Giving
20
it
years,
privately, yes.
giving it.
Have you ever bought it from me? No. So there you go.
That's true. How many different states has Wild Hare Jerky been in?
Well, I'll put it to you this way: it's been from coast to coast.
Yeah.
Everything from Seattle, California, Miami, Ohio, Texas, Utah, Nebraska, Tennessee, South Carolina, North Carolina.
Yes.
What about the 4 weeks? How many states?
Like
people, not friends and
Oklahoma.
family, but people that have bought online.
So we've had, again, the only way we've really promoted, other than some of the times you mentioned or whatever, we've pretty much been through Facebook, right?
Right.
But luckily, I've been doing it long enough that a lot of people know us. And through different friends, whether it's family, friends, Bridget, whoever, we know people who transit back and forth. So, like, we did a big sale in Mississippi, and I was like, oh, wow, we had 10 bags,
Yeah.
ordered in Mississippi. And come to find out that he frequents through the area because he's a driver or something like that, right? So, in 4 weeks, probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 people. But we get a lot of pre-orders where people say pickup. See, that's one of the nice things. If you're local, you can pay for it ahead of time, and you know that you're going to have your flavor. If you order it and you say, I want, what is this one here? I want spicy grind. We go, hey, we're out. You know already. So either you can pick something else, or we'll do it next week. So when we start a cook, it starts basically on a Tuesday and ends on a Friday, and that means that we'll literally be in there packaging Friday.
Yeah.
So Fridays are pretty good days to pick up stuff. And I don't think I told you this, but to give you an idea, this week alone, we will have packaged between today and tomorrow 400 bags.
Dang.
Wow.
In what time frame?
Since Tuesday. We literally did 4 cases of meat. So when I said it yields a third, we literally started off with 300 pounds on Tuesday of what we call case weight. That's the full roast. By the time you break it all down, you marinate it, you season it, and you cook it, you get a third, which is about 100 pounds at quarter-pound bags, is about 400 bags.
Yeah.
And we had about 50 sitting on the floor.
And each bag is
Quarter pound.
$10.
$10 for quarter pound. So
Which
it's
is
a little more than what you get in a store size-wise for about the same price. But our philosophy is it's the best you've ever had. If not, just come talk to me. I'll give you money back. I'll give you another flavor, whatever. But I consider that stuff gas station sushi jerky.
Yeah, I mean, considering the fact that you can take 3 pounds of beef to make 1 pound of this, like that's actually a pretty good deal.
When you take in labor and you take in seasoning,
Right.
gloves, and marinade, there's a lot to it.
What if the podcast listeners want to buy jerky, like what do? They go to the website, they call you.
So let me tell you something. Before I offer any discounts, let me tell you this much. I don't think I told you this. When you all discuss on the Monday after we officially open, we open on a Friday.
Did we talk about it?
No, you and I haven't done
Oh, we
this
haven't talked about it.
This is
See, I don't know.
unedited.
I don't know what I
So we
did.
had literally opened up on a Friday just to kind of try things out. Had a great day. Then that Monday, you came on the air and you told everybody we were officially open. And I took that snippet of the podcast or the podcast from the radio station. I sent it to Bridget. I said, hey, you need to listen to this. And she's at the shop working. And while she's listening to it, she was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And she shut it off, and a gentleman walked in and said, hey, now, I'm not kidding you. And it kind of freaked her out because she was like, whoa, I was just listening to this. And she's like, hey now. And he said, I just come up from Birmingham and I heard about you on this radio station, this podcast and stuff. So thank you very much.
That's so funny.
And then he came back the next day, from what I understand.
Nice.
And he just happened to be in the area and he brought up. So
it's crazy because, and I mention this all the time, like the way our audience operates, it's unlike anything I've ever experienced in radio. And I think it's probably rare, like that our audience takes our advice. So, I mean, there was obviously Vapor Forge has been with us since the beginning. And they had somebody come in today. I mean, y'all got people that come in on a regular basis.
Well, we just went the other day, and we went out the back door, and somebody drove around to the back and said, "Are you Andrew McLean?"
Yeah,
hey now, you know.
Andrew? And I was like, yeah. He was like, hey now. They'll just stop us in public. It's crazy.
When my wife was working down here in Hoover, and I had nothing to do but hang out and stay in the free hotel, you know, I went out and I actually went over to Vapor Forge and introduced myself and gave them some flavors. And they were like, oh yeah, Andrew's talked about you guys before.
Oh, those guys love your beef jerky.
Oh yeah,
they love it.
The connection in the family is something awesome. So we really appreciate it. We appreciate what you guys have done for us.
So back to people ordering.
Yeah. So
how do they do that?
Well, I told you on the podcast, I texted you and I said, hey, for this week, we're going to extend it for the month of October. We're going to actually have our grand opening on October the 26th. Probably we're going to do what we call like a soft opening, then the hard grand opening, and then we'll stay a little bit afterwards.
Does the city come out and all that and do the ribbon cutting?
They do, but you got to understand, this is Priceville. This isn't Hoover, Birmingham.
But at least, what is it? Like the mayor comes out there and they got the big scissors and everything?
Sam Heflin's the mayor of Priceville. So this is actually a Decatur address if somebody looks it up, but it's Priceville City. And they're great people. Everybody's great on there. The local support is phenomenal.
They're going to put you in the local paper?
I don't know if they actually have a local paper. Does anybody read local papers anymore?
Probably not, but
no.
I mean,
but there's
old people do.
On Facebook, there's what's happening now in Decatur and Priceville and stuff like that, and a lot of people have been following us. They have great responses. I would have to say 90% of the people that have come into our shop have heard us from Facebook.
See, I mean, a beef jerky store is not something you see everywhere. It's kind of a rare thing. So for a town like Priceville to have their own beef jerky store where they make it there, that's kind of a big deal.
And we're 1.5 miles off I-65, so it's not like you have to go very far.
Oh, you're going to have to buy a billboard. You got to put a billboard. You got to. At this point, so much.
Justin's called me. I can't afford Justin, much less you know what I'm talking about. You know?
When it comes, some of us hardly can. Yeah.
To Vapor Forge, when it comes to Vapor Forge, you know, $280 for him and Amy. It was a selling point. It was like, hey, you got so much traffic going through here.
We are working on that. We're 4 weeks in. We are working on some stuff. And it's funny you mention that because I have a sign out front that I was pretty proud that I made myself, and I put it in the ground, and I got told the next day it's blocking views of the traffic. You got to move it back 4 feet. I've had about 4 people come in and tell me I saw this because of the sign. And I'm pretty proud of that.
Well,
even though it's about 1% of the traffic we had.
For the right price, I'll send John Bird up there to do a little sign and dance on the side of the interstate.
I'm pretty good with it. I wear a suit too.
Yeah, you will.
Can I pick the dress?
No, it's got to be a beef jerky.
He'll dress as Donald Trump.
Honestly, if I could get a mascot outfit of our logo, that Hare on there, the wild Hare that I like to call Hare S. Wild, spelled W-I-L-D-E. Some people think that's goofy, and I'm like,
Hare S. Wild?
Hare's Wild.
Hare's Wild, huh?
Because we're wild Hare. You should appreciate that.
You know what? Because in honor of you today,
what do we got?
I have put together the origins of beef jerky.
Oh, wow.
So I've got something I'd like to share with everybody. I would like to do it in my cowboy voice.
Okay. See, again, all of this is organic.
Is there a yeehaw in here?
I didn't even know this was happening.
I didn't either. I have no idea what's about to happen.
Here we go. The origins of beef jerky. The earliest known mention of beef jerky comes from a Chinese document from 1599 A.D., describes Emperor Wan Li's journey through the southern provinces of China. The document mentions dried meats being given to the emperor and his court during their travels. It's likely that these meats were seasoned with spice, salt, and smoke to preserve them, similar to modern-day beef jerky. From China, the idea of dried meat traveled westward along the Silk Road. It's thought that Roman soldiers discovered dried meats while stationed in present-day Turkey and brought the idea back to Rome with them. These Roman-style dried meats became popular among European nobility as an immersive delicacy. Beef jerky's arrival to North America. The first recorded instance of beef jerky in the Americas comes from the Spanish explorer Juan Ponce de Leon, who noted in his journals that Native Americans were drying strips of meat in the sun as early as 1521. Traditional Native American methods of preparation include rubbing the meat with fat or brains before hanging it up to dry in the smoke from their fires. Now, the popularity of beef jerky continued to grow in North America during the 1800s as new methods of food preservation were developed. One of these methods was using vinegar and salt to cure meat, which resulted in a product close to modern-day beef jerky. This method was perfected by Robert Warren Murray Jr., who opened the first commercial beef jerky factory in 1926. In 1947, John Bird Jr., the great-great-great-uncle of John Bird Jr., started an operation and handled all of the beef jerky needs of our Americans overseas. Wow. He was awarded the Gold Medal of Honor by the President following the bombing of Japan.
Oh, God.
Beef jerky today, it's really good. The end.
Wow.
Did he say John Bird Jr.'s, and then later refer to John Bird Jr. again?
Yeah. So there's a bunch of John Bird Juniors. in his
Yeah,
family.
I mean, you can't. We're not like English. Those idiot English inbreds. Where they're like the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh. Mm-mm.
Well, because of that, I think you probably deserve something since you're talking about presidential stuff.
Look at that.
What are the odds that as I'm going to buy my bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich this morning at the
jerky
local
was gonna
gas
fall out of his
station,
mouth.
I see that there, and I'm like, oh, I got to buy this.
Hold that up, Bird.
So
Yeah.
you have, yep. Now pull the white thing out the back of his head. Pull that out.
Now make him punch.
Just had to go with your stuff. Now hit it.
Yeah.
I'm the smartest guy I know. Don't touch the hair.
Don't touch that.
Oh, he's so excited.
I heard you were hugging. Excellent.
This is John Bird's.
I didn't have
this is the best
anything
day
evil
ever.
Knievel, so I figured you can't get over on
Is this the best day ever, John Bird?
Best day ever. Jerky and
And
Trump.
the sad thing is, I forgot to bring you that Donald Trump. What was it? I sent you a picture. It was like the $5 million gold bill or whatever.
Oh,
it was.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
too bad.
So I got to give a little bit of shout out. My brother who set up this website stuff. He's
Yeah.
awesome. Anybody needs I've complained about certain websites to
Right.
you before. The guy can make it happen.
Yeah, he did a good job.
And I love him to death. He's a smart, intelligent person.
So did we ever
We
tell?
have some political differences.
Yeah.
And the gentleman that gave me that bill, wherever we were,
I'm sorry.
gave my brother one at the same time. You know what my brother said? He
What?
looked at it, he goes, yeah, I appreciate it. I don't need it.
He just
gave
handed it back to
him.
you.
I was like, I swear to God, I wanted to go, wait a minute. I can keep one and give one to Andrew.
Well, listen, he'll come around at some point. I'm sure he
Maybe.
will.
But if not, I got that $5 million bill for you.
Nice. Did we ever say it's John Bird?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think you can. I don't think you can sit a pin up
Don't spill anymore.
unless you want to use this cup here.
Everything's looking so complicated over there, Bird. You
There's
all right, man?
so much stuff over here.
So anybody for the rest of this month, on your listeners on here, if they'll send us an email, it can come in also. If they do like a hey now on us, we'll give them like we did, like we are going to tell you before, but we'll do it for the month. Anything over $50 free shipping, because
Okay.
obviously we're all the way up in Decatur, Priceville, hour and 25 minutes from the studio. And anything over $100, we'll throw in a free bag of jerky, and we'll throw in one of those koozies, like one of these koozies. Like
Nice.
There you go,
Look
right?
at that.
And then if you want to go anything above and beyond that, it's all personal. So
Yeah.
we've had people come and ask about memberships. They're like, I heard it costs X amount of dollars. It all depends on what you want.
Yeah.
You got bulk.
What do you mean by memberships?
So we had somebody come in actually yesterday. So let me take this back. So we've been, like I said, this is our 4th week. The first week, a gentleman came in and bought 10 bags of jerky. Second week he came in, he bought 10 bags of jerky. And then Friday came in, he bought 7 bags of jerky.
Wow.
It's a lot of jerky.
Well, I mean, it's good, luckily. And I looked at him and I was like, okay, so I remember you last week when you bought 10 bags. Did you eat all those bags? And probably like you've seen at the studio stuff, you get some and you hand some out, share, whatever. And they were like, We ate most of it, but some of it we shared. But we have a football group that meets every Saturday. And I'm like, okay, so let's just do the math right now. Let's just say on average, you're looking at about 3 months, about $1,200. If you want to join the membership, basically what it does is by putting money up front, call it credits. I hate that word, but basically if you
Jerky tokens.
Yeah, I'm gonna use a hypothetical. You put up $1,000, you still get $1,200 worth of jerky. You're saving $200. You're going to buy it anyways. Why not take the advantage of the deal? And then on top of it, we do little merch, give them a tumbler or whatever. But you also get heads up on things like the flavors we brought tonight. If they end up hitting, hey, we got a new flavor, or the sweet and spicy that you like so much, that's actually not on the website. We don't necessarily sell that. That's every now and then I make it and put it out there, and when it's gone, it's gone. So somebody that has a membership would get a heads up ahead of time, and they would know, hey, we've got something coming up. They get a pre-order, so they get the first dibs on it. And everything. Look, Emmy's over here like, give it to me.
We're passing it along.
I'm not moving my chair because enemy's walking behind me right now.
When a membership is like, people sign up and you send them beef jerky every month?
No, so a membership, basically, if you want a membership, just email us because it's all personal. If you decide, like if you said, I want 2 bags a week for...
You okay, John Bird?
You didn't slip the ghost in there, did you?
Totally unscripted.
This is an overload. What's a sensory, like a overload or sensory deal for him?
Sensory overload.
He's got too much going on.
No, the membership. If you're gonna get a lot of jerky, it's probably better to get a membership because it's like saying bulk, but you don't necessarily have to get bulk right then and there.
But wait, if I've got a membership, you're still just placing regular orders, or are you saying,
No, so a membership you would pay up front. Call it whatever. Say you spend $500. That's 50 bags, right? If anybody just came in and bought it over however long a time. The idea is that if you're going to drop $500 up front, we're going to give you more than 50 bags.
Yeah.
We're going to give you, whatever, 60, 70, whatever the bags are. Plus, you're going to get all the notifications of rotating flavors. Like the sweet and spicy right now is, like I said, you can't find it on the website. You're going to have to be in the shop, and we're going to happen to have it. But we'll give you an email ahead of time saying, hey, you've already got this. Plus, on top of it, if something happens where you say, okay, I've got 100 bags coming to me, I want 4 a week for X amount of weeks, you're going to automatically, you're going to have them. It's guaranteed, right?
Yeah.
And then
John Bird, are you okay?
Yeah.
Can we? No, you're fine. You can make all the noise you want, buddy.
Just don't tell him it's from the jerky.
He is.
So it sounds like after today we're going to be doing a buy one get 4 free.
He is. He is
literally on the floor. Actually, remember when your Facebook lives where he had like the ghost pepper or whatever it was, and you literally showed where he had spit up jerky all over.
Oh yeah, I remember that. We did that in the studio.
Buddy? Yeah, I just ate 2 pieces at once.
See, it's overload. He just can't. Okay, so with the membership,
right,
you're just kind of getting tipped off on other stuff and save some money.
Yeah, and then the thing is one thing to do is you guarantee you're always going to have your flavor. So like I was saying earlier, if we're out of a flavor, 2 days ago we were out of Montreal Spice. It's one of the top flavors, sold out. People come in, I want Montreal Spice. We're like, well, here's the thing. It's a 4-day process, so we're not going to have it till next Friday.
He couldn't handle it.
Oh, we didn't go to the bidet. That's a strange thing. He went left.
He needs to get face down in that bidet and unlaunch those jerky pieces.
So, anyways, what was I saying? You can
Not scripted, yeah.
Yeah, that's scripted. That's scripted. So what happens is you turn around and you say, well, I want Montreal Spice. I want it every 3 bags a week.
Yeah.
Well, then once you bought it, you're going to have it. Your flavor that you want is guaranteed already going to have it, because what we do is we pull it first, and if we look and say, hey, we're running out next week, Andrew needs 4 bags of whatever, we'll start making it that week.
Yeah.
So you're guaranteed to have it, and trust me, it doesn't sound like a lot, but you'd be surprised how many. I had a gentleman come in yesterday or the day before, the one I was talking about, called me on the phone, and he was like, I went in to get the Montreal Spice or the roasted garlic and herb, and it was sold out. Your favorite, right? It was sold out. So I tried the sweet heat and Jamaican, and he's like, they were awesome. But the point is that if he didn't like it, you didn't have your Montreal and your roast garlic and herb because you didn't pre-order, or in his case, you didn't get a membership. It's guaranteed you're going to have it.
Right.
Guaranteed you're going to have it. Plus you get discounts.
As far as people, did we ever mention how people can go and buy, like on the website?
When you
Is
go,
there a way to go on the website?
If you follow the website, without getting deep into it, there's a tab up there that you can pull down for shop. You can get merch, or you can get where it says beef jerky up to the right.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, see where it says beef jerky. Click on that, and that's got. Might take a second to load here, but it's got all. So that's the majority of all our flavors. You can click on it to give you a little brief description. The homepage actually had little pictorials that are just, they look pretty nice. The Dream Reaper's got some dude with a sword or something.
Yeah,
obviously
just click one of those flavors, Tony.
So it's all it is. All it's going to do is give you a brief description of it, and then if you hit the plus or whatever, then you're going to start ordering it.
Yeah, click order now. Let's just see what it looks like. All right. So
yeah. So obviously, it doesn't really look like that guy. It looks like a piece of beef jerky. You just don't know it's hot as hell, right?
Right.
So, but you can order that stuff, and like I said, if you order it online, we'll ship it. Most of the time, there's a shipping cost, but for your listeners, $50 or more is free shipping. Normally it's $100, because y'all got to understand, it doesn't sound like a lot. It's £1.25.
Right.
But shipping still gets expensive.
It adds up. Yeah.
And what we talked about earlier, we don't have a big profit margin on this because we're not out to make a killing off of each bag.
Right.
We're looking at quantities.
By the way, Christmas, I get beef jerky every Christmas. And I'm going to tell my son, this is what I want. This is the perfect gift for dads or sons. I mean, I don't want to be sexist. Moms and daughters, I'm sure, like it too.
I tell you what, honestly,
you.
that unholy trinity, some of the baddest people I've seen eat that have all been women.
Really?
Go ahead.
We've got some women that'll look at it and go, yeah, it's pretty hot.
Dang.
Because most of the time the guys think they're going to trick them.
Yeah, I know. When people eat something that I know is really hot and they're like, man, it's pretty hot. I'm like, you're faking. You're dying inside right now. You're not even.
So
not
something
even
we're trying to do, we're hoping to come up with. I've been talked to the state the last 2 days. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned that. We are literally, I verified this with the state. We are literally the only people in Alabama that are made there, sold their beef jerky company. Now, before everybody on the different groups I've tagged on this stuff freak out, there's people that make beef jerky in Alabama, but they're either butchers or processors, which are governed by the USDA. There's a difference there. I can't sell wholesale yet. Kroger, Publix, HEB, whatever, y'all call me, But until then,
so you're going to do that if it comes up.
Get it, and everything changes now. USDA is a different beast altogether.
Right.
But they have taught me so much. There's a lady, I'm not going to mention her name, but there's a lady at the state that has given me so much information that I could have paid $7,500 for a consultant to do all this business for me, and I wouldn't know a damn thing that I thought I knew about jerky. There's no doubt about it. So I've done the blood, sweat, and tears, learned this stuff, sacrificed time, my family, and everybody's known I've had to leave because I had to go do stuff, whatever. It's all the dream, right? The goal. But we're the only people in the state that literally make it there in the facility and sell it. Everybody else is either processors. You go kill a deer. I had a lady, or Bridget said today, a guy came in and said, well, I sell deer jerky. No, you don't. You do not sell deer jerky in the state of Alabama.
Yeah.
You may be a processor that somebody brings a deer and then they turn around and process it for you and sell you the labor to it or whatever. But if you walked in, if you killed a deer and brought it in and said, I want the whole thing in summer sausage or jerky, and they make the whole thing and then they tell you how much it costs and you're like, oh my God, yeah, I'll be there tomorrow, and you never show up, they don't get to sell that stuff for a profit.
Yeah.
They can't do that because they're processors. Totally different game.
Yeah, that's got to be a big deal. I mean, just like I said with the Priceville getting their own little beef jerky store, like you just don't see those anywhere. They just don't they really don't exist.
Our next goal is to try to let truckers, because I know you got a lot of OTR guys out there, right? One of the things we want them to know is that if you'll call us, the way the parking lot, the facility that we're in, you can actually pull in. Like if you call us ahead of time, say I'm coming, pull these flavors, you can literally get off I-65 at the Priceville Decatur exit, go right 1.5 miles, pull in the parking lot, we'll run it out to you. Hopefully you've already prepaid, or we'll get our little square thing out there and do it on tablet and then get you right back on the road. You're talking 3 miles out of your way, 6-7 minutes, you're back on the interstate.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So for the people who listen to the podcast, listen to the radio show, y'all can it's right off I-65. All that information, wildharejerky.com. And should be easy to find. This has been John Bird's favorite show so far.
Best
I can tell.
ever.
I mean, just look at the table.
Hungry
Look, we don't have a shot of the table, but I mean, there's just stuff everywhere.
Your gentleman from Redland Rifle Company brought you a whole bunch of merch, right?
He did, yeah.
I tried to outdo it just a little bit.
You did?
Just a little. I'm trying to set the bar.
You did. Well, and that would only make you the second because I don't think anybody had brought us goodies like that like JD from Redland did.
Everybody brings you some sort of
used
liquor,
to.
right?
It stopped.
Close to it.
It stopped.
So this is one thing, but this.
Yeah, let me try
that?
this real
Try
quick.
that real quick.
You want to try this, John Bird? This amaretto?
Sure, as long as I don't spill it. God, I'm an idiot.
Well, look,
This has been the wildest episode
You
ever.
pretty much hacked and damn near puked over everything. Just drink from the bottle. I mean, unless Tony says no, I don't have a problem with it.
So I've always viewed
He's a girl, man.
I'll do that.
I've always viewed amaretto as Dr.
Brett
Pepper,
said, "Out all you good."
the Dr. Pepper of alcohol.
This is normally by itself a sip drink, but you can mix it with all sorts of stuff. But tell me how smooth. It's sweet. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's sweet.
Smells smooth.
Give me some let's let Amy try that. That's good. I like that.
It's sweet. You know, if you're not into it, you're not into it. But knowing that you can mix it with coffee,
You can make cookies out of this.
Make
mix it with
cookies out
coffee,
of
you can mix it with like Tony and I were talking earlier, amaretto sours or
Gosh, this is good.
Yeah, you can mix that with Dr.
Give me a
Pepper,
little
and that
more
would be
hit
on
of that.
point.
I've got a guy that mixes it with Coors Light and I'm gonna get it wrong, but he mixes it with like Coors Light.
Is his name Boomer?
No.
Okay.
My brother Eric.
Oh, he's Miller Lite. Never mind. All right.
Wow.
We make that from. That's a family recipe.
Dang.
Gosh.
And everybody likes it, I'm sure.
40,
everybody
50
in the family.
years.
Do you make it, or do you have multiple family members that make it?
Well, we can all make it. We all have the recipe, but I sell a lot of things like you talked about, or I make a lot of things.
I wish I made stuff like that.
When
I
is
make
this
crushed
hitting the
pepper,
market?
That's it.
This is big time here.
Listen, I'm having a hard enough time trying to get the salsa that I gave you guys and some hot sauce in here. My brother's a chef. He's not like, you're not going to look him up and say Chef Mike, right? But he's a chef. This dude makes phenomenal stuff.
So, yeah.
And he makes hot sauces that I'm trying to steal the salsa recipe from my wife that I'm going to have to arm wrestle her later, I guess. And then I got to get the hot sauce recipe from my brother. And that goes along with the jerky shop. You know, I'm not going to sell scented candles at the jerky shop.
Yeah.
I got a question. How much proof is this amaretto? This is great. Like, what percentage we talking?
I'm saying it's 100% perfect.
Well, I know that. Yeah, I know that. But it was like 40 proof? What
I
is
don't know,
this?
Tony. Ask me what the nutritional value is of the jerky.
Okay.
I have absolutely no idea. I can tell you that there's no GMOs or all the other acronyms.
Well, if it's jerky from meat, it's going to have iron and all the other good stuff from
I know
meat.
this much. A wife looked it up. Average, it's 40 grams protein. Okay. We actually had somebody, I'll admit it, they said, what's the nutritional value of it? I said, I don't know. I can tell you this much. We don't use any preservatives. We follow everything. So even though everything's through the local health department and the state, I still went through the USDA to find out, to make sure I know what I'm doing. So it's all safe. It's all good. The shelf life, unvacuum sealed, like you see right here, is about 8 months because there's a water activity level you have to check. It has to be 0.85 or lower. Most of ours are 0.6, 0.65. If you're wondering, the range goes from 0 to 1. So we're well below it. And if you vacuum seal it, it's good for like 22 months, but it creates a whole nother issue with the health department because it's called reduced oxygen packaging.
I've heard of that, yeah.
Does it affect the quality of it if you vacuum seal it?
Yeah, just keep it longer.
Yeah.
But honestly, unless you make it at home, and I've seen this on a lot of the, I hope all the Facebook groups out there on the website, I mean on the jerky stuff's listening to this, people make it for themselves and they freeze it. You can freeze beef jerky.
Yeah.
So you can make a whole bunch of it and just freeze it and eat it whenever you want to. Obviously, we're not wanting to do that. We want to get it out the door fast. But technically, if you vacuum seal it, it's good for almost 2 years. But now you're talking a whole different situation because when you remove all the oxygen, which is what you do when you're vacuum sealing, you create a better growing environment for bacteria. And that's when the issues come into play.
Yeah.
Right? So they literally told us, and I'm not dogging the health department or the state. They literally said, we don't know what you're doing because we've never messed with this before. So I not only had to prove that we knew what we were doing, I had to prove that it was safe. Well, I can't just go. It's the oldest form of food preservation with modern technology, therefore it's safe. I had to do research. I had to figure stuff out. I had to figure out the 145 degrees for a minimum of 4 minutes kills off bacteria, yada, yada, yada. And we got it right, obviously.
Do you think Kamala Harris would like your beef jerky? She likes Willie Brown's beef jerky.
I think she would say that if you get the really hot stuff, it could burden you. I'm not going to go any further. Yeah. She said on a Brett Baer the other day. My wife and I were listening to it last night, and I was trying to keep an open mind, right?
Right.
And I'm listening to everything, and when I heard the word burden, I was like, oh, we're going right back.
Yeah, I thought she was going that route too.
We're going back.
Do you think her favorite flavor would be Jamaican, or is she left that behind and now she's just black?
All right, so listen, I've got a lot of different mindsets and philosophies, but when it comes to beef jerky, I'm a businessman.
Right.
If it sells Jamaican jerky, by God, she can quote it all she wants to. It doesn't mean I support her, but if she supports Jamaican jerky, y'all just buy it.
You can.
I might have to charge you twice as much, but no.
Right. I was gonna say you can have your political views, but when it comes down to business, you want to provide to everybody.
I talked about getting a TV set up in there, right? Because people, Alabama football, whatever, it's big up there. And one of the things that the cable company, I won't mention any names, said is, you want to be very careful what you put on there. If I put Fox News on there and I get somebody from the left, or I put CNN, I get somebody from the right, it can affect your bottom line business. There's no doubt about it. So you know what? You just stay away from it. My views, what I do, has nothing to do with the quality of beef jerky that we make.
Yeah, you go to Vapor Forge, they're going to be watching anime or wrestling normally.
That's funny.
Yeah, they have wrestling on quite a bit,
It's funny because when I went in there, they weren't doing anything.
Yeah, that's not always
trying to sell vape stuff.
That's what they do, man. They got a good crew down there.
Yeah, awesome.
And how many people do you guys? Is it just you and your wife? And you said Bridget.
So here's the funny thing. I have a normal job. We talked about that. I work 4 10-hour days. Friday, I'm there all day. And usually I will go and make local deliveries on Friday because I've had customers from way back. They're awesome. They supported me forever. It's what kept me going.
So you take it to them personally?
I will personally drive it to them. It's got to be in the local area.
Right.
So by letting Bridget work Monday through Thursday, it gives her the weekend off. And we didn't plan on being open on Saturdays. But last couple of Saturdays, I said, we don't have anything going on. I'm just going to see what happens. It's actually been pretty good. We're literally still trying to figure out what hours to be open.
Yeah.
So you might have a Monday or Tuesday where you get one person come in. One person comes in and buy one bag of jerky.
Right.
So you sold $10 worth of jerky. Obviously, that's not profit, but I paid somebody to sit there for 2 whole days.
Right.
So we're not really sure how we're going to fix the hours eventually, but we're hitting events now. So we've got the peddler's license for Morgan County. So next week, Bridget's actually going to probably Mondays and Wednesdays. Normally, she's got to leave at 1, so we cut it short. So she's actually not going to be open we're not going to be open next Wednesday. She's going to go to a plant, factory, if you will, and show up because they take food trucks and all that stuff. She's going to show up with a whole bunch of jerky.
That's smart.
Yeah, you need to do some sort of the festival down here in Birmingham.
Yeah, the farmers market here.
Farmers
market would be huge.
So I don't know if y'all know this. You may have it down here, but Decatur, we have a thing called Third Friday. Every Third Friday, they shut down a section of Decatur, and they have vehicles come out there, and they old vintage classic things. It's
that's cool.
They used to have that in Anniston.
They call it the Art and Entertainment District. So you can walk around with the open container that you bought from a bar, whatever. And we were going to sell there. This is the last Third Friday, and unfortunately, last Friday that we went just to hang out as patrons, there was only one food truck.
Yeah.
So I think they're winding down, and I never got a response from them. So we'll hopefully pick that up next year.
Yeah.
And then there's the Riverfest Art Festival, or River Clay Art Festival, I think it is, in Decatur, and they came back and said, we're full of food trucks. And I said, okay, I appreciate that, but by the way, we're not a food truck. I'm like, we just need a table.
Yeah.
So hopefully they may reach back out to us. October 26th, which is next weekend.
Amy's birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, it's
By
on
the
a
way,
Saturday.
I'm glad you said that. My wife's sister, my sister-in-law, the only sister-in-law that I have through marriage, it's her birthday today also.
Nice. Happy
So,
birthday,
happy birthday,
sister-in-law.
Jitterbug.
Yes.
But the 26th of October, we're going to do our grand opening.
Okay.
I think I mentioned that earlier. So that's the same weekend that this festival is. But if somebody has a festival out there, I talked to you about the election party. I'd like to get in that, but I don't know if I can. But
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
all
if
you
we
got to
work
do,
something out.
Tony, you made. I don't know if you don't actually probably not in the same business, but you got to buy a peddler's license and a business license for each county. It lasts a year. It's not that expensive. I don't care. You got an event coming up? Let us know. We'll come out there and set up as a vendor.
Now, real quick about business, just to give you a quick tip.
Yes, sir.
If you're not sure on when hours to be open and when you're supposed to be closed because of labor and all that, just stick a camera by your front door and have it overlook the whole parking lot in the front or wherever you're at, and have the motion thing on. and have it to where it notifies you. And when you're closed, it'll notify you when people come to see if you're open, and then you can kind of gauge when you should be open by how much traffic comes to you.
Right, and then the point of sale system I had, and we can talk about this afterwards if you want. I don't want to take any more of your time, but it actually has all the metrics of when our peak hours are and all that stuff. That works out good. And I do actually have cameras on everything inside, which if they walk up to the door, it'll probably trigger it. But that's actually a very good tip.
Yeah, we did it with Sundays. Originally, we were like 11 to 4. Amy I think it was 11 to 4 we started off with. Next thing you know, we put up a camera with the motion thing, and we were getting people coming to our door looking in at like 6 o'clock, 7. Yeah. And we kept bumping our hours, and we just captured all that business.
I don't know if it's because it's a smaller town. We've had a lot of people actually message us and go, "Are you open right now?"
Oh, right.
It's like, but we'd like to get it where everybody knows. But it's like Monday through Thursday's kind of like weird. And then all of a sudden you'll have one day of the week that stands out above anything else.
Yeah.
Well, here's our priority. We want to know how many of our listeners reach out and buy beef jerky. And I would like to know that, and this is on the listeners to do.
Yeah. Right.
I would like to know the difference in, well, I guess it'd probably be mostly people that listen to the podcast, but the people that listen to the podcast mostly listen to the radio show. So if
I pushed a lot of this out there. Hopefully, I've got people in Australia and stuff listening to you right now.
That's good. That's good.
It's not just for views, but it's it's good information.
Well, if you are ordering because you saw it on this podcast, make sure you put in the notes in your order.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Absolutely.
Or heard it on the podcast or whatever. So we'll do that. We'll wrap it up. Jumper, are you okay? Everything good?
Yeah, I'm good. I had a little too much beef jerky.
I think you did too.
Yeah, I ate like 20 pieces. It's so good, but you got to learn when to cut it off.
I knew that this was going to happen, which is fine because
if I had to pick ananybody, I'd have picked John Bird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
And you know how final words work. So
I thought I was supposed to do it at the beginning of the podcast.
We'll start.
I heard that, by the way, Mr. Wild, Mr. Gonna Fix Your Hair.
Yeah. We'll start off with Tony Gump.
Sure. Plenty of water, meat, sunlight, and sleep. Go to wildharejerky.com. That's HARE.
That's right.
Get your jerky there. It's great jerky. I'm not even a jerky eater, but I like this. I think I'm going to be a jerky eater now.
I appreciate it.
And check out Nick Johnson's YouTube channel. I really like that guy. And shout out to Boomer for being on his podcast.
We'll put Nick Johnson's Boomer video. We'll put a link in the description and also a link to wildharejerky.com in the description.
Yeah, and please, Nick, if you watch this, give us a shout out. We could use one.
Tony loves you.
Love it.
He loves you a lot. Brian, Mr. Wild Hair Jerky.
So I thought about this because I thought I was supposed to do it in the beginning. I was going to keep it nice and simple. This is one of my on my email signatures is perception's not always reality.
That's a good one. Wow, that's powerful.
That's deep.
That may be the most powerful one we've gotten from a guest.
I think so.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, John Bird.
Should I have done this?
You should have. But now it's too late.
Let me tell you, perception is not always reality.
That was effective.
I like that.
Can you tell I've been watching?
Yes. You have very thin glasses. I'm used to John Bird's big
I'm getting
specs.
new glasses Saturday, so this might be the last time you see this. Don't eat 20 pieces of beef jerky in one sitting.
That's not true.
And drink whiskey at the same time.
If you're John Bird. Everybody else can do it.
Yes. And don't eat 3 pieces at one time. You'll get it caught in your throat.
That can apply to everybody, I think.
Yeah, I think.
Eat jerky responsibly.
If you're going to watch the Tennessee-Alabama game, don't waste your time on chips. Give me a freaking break. Get a Wild Hare. Don't be a turkey. By Wild Hair Jerky. Oh my God! Wow. Drop the glasses on that. What the hell? Where did that come from?
That's why this guy is a professional.
That's it. Don't be a turkey. Buy Wild Hair Jerky. We better see that in an ad.
You realize I didn't give you that pin because I was afraid you'd throw it and break Donald Trump's
head. I didn't want to do that. I don't want to throw that pin. All right. Well, thank you for coming and hanging out with us.
Appreciate you guys.
We appreciate it. We appreciate all the gifts. We'll be eating jerky for the next 6 months. We're very excited about that.
I'll be gone 6 days.
WildHairJerky.com. Y'all check it out. And until next time, see you, cuz.